what's up everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tanel and today is the day that I'm gonna give my final verdict for this pretty amazing monitor from Philips, the 43-inch or actually 42.5-inch 436M6 model, which is a pretty decent VA panel with HDR, 4K and stuff like that. And in today's video we're gonna check it out a little bit closer, and I'm gonna give my final verdict at the end of the video and talk a little bit about my experience with this thing for a little bit over a week or so. So if you're interested in that, then stick around. Anyway, let's take a quick little closer peek at the monitor and then let's start talking a little bit more about it. So yeah, I mean, overall the monitor does look pretty decent, although there are some things that could be a little bit better in the future models maybe. But anyway, first of all, the specifications of this model. So it is a 43-inch, as I mentioned before, but it is actually, well, it's stated on their webpage as a 42.5-inch monitor. It is a 4K screen with a resolution of 3840 x 2160 at 60 Hz, so none of that 120, 144 Hz goodness this time around, but maybe soon. Anyway, it also has a MVA panel and HDR 1000 with 4 millisecond response time. And yeah, these are pretty much the specifications, and yeah, it does cost around 700 euros here in East Europe, so I guess you can get it a little bit cheaper off from Amazon or something like that if you're living like in US or something. But anyway, for 700 euros it's not a bad deal, because it is a 43-inch monster, and yeah, I did have a lot of fun playing around with it, and I was specifically interested in seeing how it performs in games, because my own Philips model that I have at home as my 24/7 screen, the 4037 BDM, which I also reviewed a little while back. I've noticed that there is, on the 4037 model, there's a lot of coasting going around. I don't know how I missed that. It might be a problem with my panel here, which I'm trying to maybe switch out for another model. It might be an issue with my specific model at home at the moment. But yeah, there was a lot of coasting on that panel, but there's no coasting at all on this for the 436M6 model, which is a really nice sight to see. So yeah, played around in very fast games like Counter-Strike. And then play my favorite game, which is Path of Exile at the moment, and I also checked out Assassin's Creed a little bit, Assassin's Creed Origins, and I mean, all those games looked absolutely amazing, no issues running them. So yeah, I mean, the colors, everything was perfect, and in Assassin's Creed Origins, yeah, you can turn HDR on if you wish. But it's a little bit, I mean, HDR doesn't really work in Windows at the moment. It's like if you enable HDR, the whole screen goes a little bit grayish, or a little bit extra grayish. It's something Microsoft has to fix sometimes in the future. So if you're planning to use HDR on a Windows machine, then yeah, be sure to disable HDR when you're working in Windows. But if you're launching a game you want to use HDR, then you need to enable it from Windows, which makes your whole screen turn gray, but the games actually work really nice. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention here. But anyway, other things than that, coming to the ports. So there is one HDMI and also one mini HDMI. and a display board, and also a USB Type-C port, which actually can show video also, so yeah, you can use it like that. But also it does have two USB Type-A ports, USB 3.0s, and a headphone jack. So yeah, that's about it for the ports. And for the menu, it does have the decent joystick style button behind the screen, but this is the first monitor that I've ever seen that comes with a remote. And the remote, I mean, you have to point it at the right direction. It sometimes doesn't register the button if you don't aim it at the right spot on the monitor, but that's not a huge issue for me, or I guess for anybody, because you're not really gonna use the remote that often, and if you're gonna use it, it is extremely good to have, and there's no issue, you know, just pointing it to the right place. But anyway, yeah, it does have a remote, which is really nice. You can switch, you know, between sources, switch the volume, you know, brightness and stuff like that. And yeah, it works pretty well. The menu system itself, a lot of really nice features, pretty much everything that you would expect from a monitor like this. And yeah, you can switch between different HDR modes there and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty decent menu system also. Oh yeah, there is one more thing that I wanted to mention, and that is the RGB system. So yeah, this monitor does have RGB built into it on the bottom side of the monitor, which you can of course turn off if you don't like it, or you know, feel that you don't need it. But it is, I guess, a pretty neat feature if you turn off the lights. You know, there's some lights glowing underneath the monitor, but it is not the famous ambilight system, which I really love. I don't really love RGB systems that much on monitors. I feel they're pretty useless, but then again, you do have the feature here. The only thing that I've noticed with a lot of brands, you know, which are implementing RGB systems into their products, is that a lot of them have issues with, you know, color switching. And also this monitor, which is, you know, it does look pretty cool, you know, for the average eye. But for me, I really notice if a light is, you know, switching the colors by, you know, how do I say this? It stutters. It doesn't, you know, fade nicely to the next color and stuff like that. But it kind of like a little bit stutters to the next color, which I really hate on RGB systems. The only RGB system that I noticed on PC hardware that works just like magic is the G-Skill memories, G-Skill Trident Z's. RGB versions. That's the only actual RGB system that I've noticed that has, like, you know, fluid RGB color, you know, switching. But anyway, yeah, it does have RGB. If you don't like it, you can definitely turn it off. And yeah, another small thing that I'd like to mention here is that this monitor does have speakers built into it. Many monitors nowadays do have some speaker systems built into them, but they're typically not really good or decent. But this thing here does have DTS sound, which is pretty nice. It's a pretty nice audio system for a monitor with a small little bass to it. I mean, yeah, definitely a nice feature, so I definitely like that. But anyway, what's my overall thought on this monitor? So I used it over a week, almost 2 weeks straight as my main monitor, and yeah, I've been really satisfied with it. Really decent colors for an MVA panel, and yeah, really nice response time, no ghosting, and I guess only downside is that it doesn't have 4K 144 Hz, right? So yeah, that's my main maybe issue or something. But yeah, if I'm gonna get a 43-inch screen with 144 Hz at 4K, I guess it's gonna cost like 4 or 5 times the price that it is right now. Anyway, other small thing that I didn't like really much is the bezels. The bezels are pretty thick. I mean, the monitor itself is pretty huge. I would have loved to see the bezels a little bit thicker, or maybe a bezel-less design. Maybe only have the bezel, you know, on the bottom. Yeah, the monitor stand is kinda limited, but you can actually tilt the monitor, so that's a neat feature, or a decent feature that every monitor should have. I guess it's like an issue with big monitors, but I haven't seen these issues, you know, on TVs. But I don't remember I could tilt a TV on the default stand. So yeah, anyway, that's just, you know, one small thing. But anyway, what is my final verdict on this monitor? So I'm gonna give this monitor a 8.3 out of 10. I mean, it's a pretty decent monitor. The only thing that, you know, takes the score down for me personally are the thick bezels, and yeah, I mean, it has pretty much all the features that you would need, right? But could have had a little bit more HDMI ports and display ports, especially if it's this big of a screen. I don't get why we only get one HDMI and one display port, although we do have one mini display port also there, which is nice to see. But no VGA or DVI. Well, okay, VGA is, I understand why you don't have it there, but maybe add some extra ports there. So yeah, a little bit less ports, a little bit too thick bezels for my taste, and yeah, maybe could have had more hertz than 60, but I guess that's, you know, that would just up the price by a crazy amount at this day and age. Anyway, that is my final verdict, and I mean, it's a decent pick if you're out there checking a 4K screen that you want to buy for gaming or stuff like that, and definitely a decent choice. So if you can, you know, of course, always try to check it out in the shop, you know, before you buy anything, to see, you know, if everything is exactly as you want it to be. You know, I can say that the response time was, you know, good or decent, but some people, you know, make a lot of noise, you know. Oh, it's not 1 millisecond. Oh my god, it's like 4 or 6. Oh my god, I'm never gonna buy it, or stuff like that. I mean, 4 to 6 milliseconds response time here is totally fine. Didn't have any issues. No coasting at all also. But yeah, anyway, that is my final verdict here, and yeah, hope you guys liked the video. If you liked the video, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments section. And I'll be soon back at you with another video. Hopefully I'll get some decent new hardware soon, because there's been a lot of announcements of some crazy nice hardware that I really want to get my hands on. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Ciao for now.